Welcome back to Trail Tales. That's TELLS. On the last episode, we explored Lover's Leap, a tragic love story. This episode, we'll be exploring the Zoar Trail. It's located in Newtown, Connecticut. And while on the surface, it seems like just another beautiful Connecticut hike, this particular trail holds one of Connecticut's most fascinating stories. How does an entire town disappear? That's what happened to Pleasant Vale, also known as Zoar. Want to find out? Lace up your boots and let's go. On the surface, it looks like a calm Connecticut lake. But what lies beneath? Roads, farms, a bridge, an entire city that absolutely disappeared. Today on Trail Tales, we'll be exploring Lake Zoar and the Zoar Trail. Super excited. The Zoar Trail runs for approximately 6.2 miles in the Paugassett State Forest. Let's go. Zoar Trail is foot traffic only. As with all the Blue Blaze trails in Connecticut, it is maintained by Connecticut Forest and Park Association. That's the CFPA. It's crazy to think that entire families resided here. There were churches, there were multiple buildings, banks, children played here, and now there's just water. That's wild. There are several of these outlets off of the main Zoar Trail where the locals will actually veer off trail and go down, get closer to the water, dip their toes in. Lots of boats. Like, if people on that boat, they brought their camera. Yeah. And then it's just a good day. I shouldn't die. Yeah. How did Pleasant Vale disappear? Well, before we talk about how it disappeared, we have to talk about how it came to be. When the Stevenson Dam was being built in 1917, there were several immigrants who moved here to support the labor that was required to build the dam. The simplest thing for them to do was set up camp near where they were building. So that's what they did. They built homes, they had farms, there were mills, there were schools, entire livelihoods built around the dam. And I don't know if there wasn't any thought about where the dam would be flooded when they were building their lives there, but they did. And it took them 2 whole years to build it. And so in that time, they're expanding the infrastructure, getting comfortable, just living their daily lives. And now it's time for the dam to be flooded, for the actual lake, the reservoir to be built. And this village is like right in the path of the river and where the dam needs to be. And so they had to relocate even the burial grounds of, the people who passed away during the time they were building and basically find new homes. Like, can you imagine living somewhere, settling with your family, getting comfortable for like 2 whole years, and then you just have to like up and leave, uproot everything? That had to be extremely emotional and disruptive, I imagine, right? But that is exactly what happened. And so when we went to Lake Zoar, when we went to the Zoar Trail, and a lot of the trail, as you saw in some of the footage, runs right along the lake, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's become one of the most popular recreational areas. When we went, there were people kayaking, there were people at the beach at Kettletown State Park. There were people on their boats just really enjoying the area. It was a sunny day, and that's what we do here in Connecticut in the summertime, as we should. Like, all of this is historical and factual. These things actually happen. But there's also a bit of lore around Lake Zoar. There is a story of a man who went to work on the dam one day and fell into the wet concrete. And the lore is that he's still sort of entombed in the dam even today. That's the story that has been handed down by the locals. We don't know if it's true, but that's what they say. There are also accounts of like weird markings being found in the park. Um, but I'll let you go explore and figure out for yourself, how much myth, how much lore there actually is on the trail. One thing I can tell you, it's absolutely gorgeous. So from that perspective, you should definitely go explore and just think about. I talked a little bit about this in the previous episode as well, but uh, as we're exploring and as we're enjoying these recreational areas, we should also think about the history of these places and the hard work that has gone into making all of this available to us, and also the work that goes into the maintenance of the trails. One of the things I want to highlight in this episode as well is that many people think that the Blue Blaze trails are maintained by the cities or by the state of Connecticut, but these trails are actually maintained by Connecticut Forests and Parks, CFPA, which is a nonprofit. Talk about myth busting, right? So I want to bring some awareness to that. They are an active nonprofit that operates based on donations and the hard work of so many volunteers all over the state. So if you ever was thinking about giving back, that's a really good option for you to partner with CFPA, either through volunteership or if you want to make a donation to them, they would be open to that and very much appreciative. Thank you very much for listening to the second episode of Trail Tales. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you'll know when the next episode drops. As always, keep exploring And remember, every trail has a tale.